Hey guys, welcome back to my video. Hope you're all well and keeping busy. I'm just lighting a match, so well, a candle. So if you get bored watching my art, then you've got something nice to look at. So for any of you who don't know, I did get a B in my GCSE art. That was a couple years ago now. So I thought I would sit down and do some drawing because I haven't done it in a while, and compare my art from when I did it then to when I'm doing it now. I won't show you the art I used to do because I don't have it anymore. I still know what it looks like, and I thought it would be a fun idea just to sit down and do some drawing. I started by doing an outline of an eye here because I used to love doing eyes. They were my favourite thing to draw, so I thought it would probably be the easiest thing for me to redraw. And then hopefully I've got the muscle memory still for it. So I'm just making it darker so you guys can actually see what I'm doing. And messing around with the shape a little bit because I wasn't happy with my first kind of attempt. I thought the whole pupil bit was too far over, so I've moved it all over to the left a little bit just to make it more central. I'm just rubbing out the original pupil iris. And I'm putting in the tear duct and making the little waterline at the bottom. I don't make a top one, I just make a bottom one because they're the ones you normally see more than the top ones. And my theme for this eye was kind of the under the sea seaweed type of colouring, so I've gone for greeny, bluey colours, a little bit of brown, a little bit of purple, but I've kind of kept with the seaweed as my main theme, just because I have them colours mainly in my collection, and I thought it'd probably be the best ones to have different tones and shading and highlights. And the pens I'm using today, I've got some Copic markers, some old fine liner pens, and they're mainly what I use. So I've got the skinny fine liners and then the thick Copics. Because I don't have loads of Copics, I use the ones I do have, and then I use the fine liners to make really thin details in the eye. So I've just started with the blue base. I find it easier to start in a little bit of a section just to see the colours, so I don't completely ruin the eye by doing all of one colour, deciding I don't like it, and then just have to suck it up. So I'm just doing a little bit, testing how much I like it, putting in where I want the dark bits to go, working out where I want my highlights. So I've faffed about with this for a little bit, putting some green in, seeing if they blend. I normally typically do dark at the top of the eye because I find if you look at a realistic eye, it's normally quite dark at the top, and then round the pupil bit and around the outside, I find the bottom bit is normally where the highlight is, so that's what I'm doing. So I'm just kind of filling in a main colour now that I've decided these are the ones that I like and I think would work well for it. So I'm filling in mainly with blue first. Be careful with the highlights that I'm putting in at the bottom. Next I'm going back in with my dark green Copic marker and just putting in a darker outline around the eye, giving it a bit more dimension. And I'm using some of my thinner fine liners just to add that kind of seaweedy lines in the eyes. So I've worked from bottom to top and doing more of a straight kind of curved line. I know that doesn't make much sense, but instead of having lines go from the circle, the outside circle into the middle, or from the middle to the outside circle, I've done from the bottom of the eye to the top of the eye. And I've done more lines that curve round the pupil bit to give that kind of wavy effect. Now I'm going in and I'm putting darker shadows around the pupil. Like I said, that's what I do, that's how I like to interpret eyes, but everyone kind of puts their highlights where they want to. It depends where the sunlight is and everything like that. Next I'm colouring in the pupil. So I've put black in first and I've left a little bit of highlight, but I will go back in with my white gel kind of pen later and make that stand out and put a few more in the actual pupil part of it. So I'm just going with, like, I think it's a purple pen or a dark blue pen. I kind of switch between them, and I'm just putting some really fine details in that you might not be able to see, but just kind of making it look more multi-dimensional rather than just one flat tone. Now that I'm done with the iris, I'm just getting my other colours that I'm going to do for, like, the actual white part of the eye and the tear duct. I don't like to just leave it white because I don't feel like it gives it that much dimension, so I'm going in with a light pink Copic marker. I think it's called, like, rose something, and my skin coloured tone, so it's like a light yellowy one, and then like a darker, I don't know, like yellowy brown. So I'm going with them back and forth, seeing and just blending them. I did try to put a bit of grey in just to, you know, darken up the corners, but my greys were a bit too dark, I felt, so I decided not to use them really. Going back in with pinks, and then I will grab my darker pink Copic marker, and I'm using that to colour in the tear duct and kind of darken the white bit of the eye, the corner of the white bit of the eye. I'm going to put some highlights with the light pink Copic marker in the tear duct, just so it looks like it's more realistic. And there you just saw me, I filled in the bottom waterline. So it normally tends to be darker from each corner and then it goes really light in the middle. And that's where the highlights normally sit, so that's what I've just done. And then I'm going back and forth, just adding a little bit more detail here and there in the eye until I'm happy with it. I've never really done a full coloured eye, so I thought that would be a fun, like, challenge for me to try and do, because I normally stick to, like, I normally just stick to different B pencils, and that's what I normally do my drawings in, but I thought I'd challenge myself because I've got all my colours, and I don't know what I've done with all my pencils from my art, so I thought I'd be brave and do some colour in it, and hope for the best. I have also put some veins in the eyes just to give it a more realistic approach, I think, and as you can see here, I'm just putting in some eyelashes and marking out where I want the eyelashes to be. So I'm still figuring out how I like to do my eyelashes, so I've not done very bold ones, just gone for subtle ones, but I will use a pen later on and fine line them so they do stand out more, but I wanted to get my eyelid in but also know where my eyelashes are and where they come to. That's just what I'm doing. I've just used like 2 different pink Copic markers to do the eyelid because I wanted a very, like, natural kind of look. I didn't want any heavy makeup or anything, but I still wanted there to be an eyelid because most people have eyelids. So again, I'm just putting little creases in from, like, the little folds in the eyelid. And here, where I mentioned earlier, I have got my white gel marker. Well, I guess it's just a gel pen, not a marker. And then putting my highlight. This is honestly the best white pen I've ever used. And if I remember, I'll put it in the description of what it's called, because I can't remember right now. But it's really inexpensive and it works really well over black. I normally use it in my bullet journal. I normally do like a black border and then write a title on it, and it works amazing. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm just fine lining my eyelashes so they stand out and don't just fade into the distance. I find typically a way to do eyelashes is to do them in like little clumps, because you don't just have one eyelash like next to each other in a line. They normally clump in little groups, so that's what I tend to do. And then halfway on the eye, I then change the direction, so then they point like in the direction of where the eye is. And if you don't know what I mean by that, I mean half point towards the tear duct and half point the other way on the eye. And then I'm adding in some bottom lashes as well, just little ones, just to frame the eye a little bit better. And now I'm just putting any finishing touches that I think need to, so I'm just darkening up the eyelid in the corners to make the highlight bit stand out in the middle of it. And I'm just darkening up the bottom of the eye as well. And adding a few more eyelashes, it seems. So guys, if you have enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like, comment and subscribe if you want to, and I will hopefully see you next week. Bye!